And welcome back to another wonderful episode of Behind the Mask. As always, I'm Eugene with my co-host. He is actually back. The aliens did drop him off. They did not probe him, in case anybody wants to know. They left him alone.
I doubt they want to know.
But my co-host...
Crickets. No, Dennis. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Man, he misses one podcast and he's already forgets how to do this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, so welcome back, Dennis. And last episode,
Thank you.
Actually, I've now seen, I looked on our Anchor page, which is where that's our podcast hosting platform. We actually had 10 views.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very nice.
10 listens. Yeah. I don't know if it's like
very nice.
2 per episode or if they picked and choose or if like episode 1 got a lot. I don't care, but 10 people. I'm happy. So
does it count us logging in and listening?
You know what? I don't know, but the thing is I have not gone on there just because I don't want that to happen. So I haven't even listened to our own podcast except when I edit it. So yeah. But last week was a great episode. It was. If anybody out there is listening to this new podcast, go back and listen to episode 3. And we had B. Young's Paxton. It's hard. I got to remember it's an S, not a T.
Yeah, there's no T in there.
Yeah. So B. Young Paxton was on, and it was just awesome to be able to talk to her and catch up with her. I've known about B forever. As long as her career has been going on. And if you're as old as me and Dennis, you've seen the Smart Parts poster. You
got it.
That poster was infamous. Yes. Uh-huh. But then you've also seen her in everything that she's ever done. And she's a really awesome person. Her and her husband are amazing. They both got huge hearts. And that's what I love about those two. And it was
and practically paintball royalty for that matter. I mean, Mike was part of so many different, championship Ironman squads. He was less than zero. He played on Avalanche. So Aftershock. I apologize. Both of them are just talk about, like I say, paintball royalty. They're definitely up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I loved talking to her and just hearing the stories that she had to say and stuff. So if you guys are listening to this and if you don't know who B is, look her up.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and look her up.
Go on to the Googles and Google her, and you'll see her pretty much her whole career on there. And then after that, go on to her Instagram. It's B. Young's Paxton. Let me double check that. I want to make sure that I get that information out because I want to definitely help her out and help out Destiny. This is something that she created, and it's huge. Just if you listen to the podcast, if you didn't, there are 19 Destiny teams in the whole U.S. right now. And I think it's even 19 counting the ones that are like outside of the U.S. She's got teams that
are overseas. Yeah, she's got overseas teams as well. And kudos to her and Mike for creating what is essentially, I mean, they may not be a powerhouse in the sense that they're constantly placing or anything like that, but they are so solid. They're so strong in terms of their coordination and their structure of the teams themselves. They've just done wonders with that whole organization.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so to look her up on Instagram, it's B Paxton, and that's Paxson, Paxson. And then you can look up Destiny Paintball at basically Destiny Paintball. That's pretty much it. But definitely keep an eye out for them. They're going to be doing the Florida Open. That'll be the next big thing that's coming up for them. And they're going to be fielding, I believe it's their first hold on. I think
it's their first Div 5, I think.
I thought it was
Excuse me, sorry.
I thought she said X-Ball team.
Oh, X-Ball. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be their first X-Ball team.
Which is pretty awesome. It's exciting for them. So I'm excited for them. So yeah, it was a great conversation, and man, and then here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And something that B brought up that I actually wanted to touch on and kind of take a moment to recognize was, her kind of coming up in the industry. She mentioned Tim Montressor, who, for those of us who've been in the game long enough, remember him from the early Smart Parts teams, the Philly Americans, primarily being one of the biggest names. But he worked for Smart Parts in their design department, and he unfortunately he passed away earlier this year. Last I had heard, it was COVID related, but that was never actually confirmed. But unfortunately, we lost a legend in Tim, and then just a few weeks ago, we unfortunately lost another big name in the paintball industry, which was Markus Nielsen. He really came to prominence in the early 2000s with Team Arsenal, and he was probably the sport's first real bad boy superstar. He garnered a reputation for really skirting those edges. A lot of us who stood on the sideline watching him play knew he wiped. Everybody was yelling about it, but he got away he got away with it, and he openly admits it. In fact, in an episode where Maddie is talking with him on it was a Jawbreaker Volume 3, I believe. He was talking about playing Huntington Beach and getting the center punch right in the goggles, and he ducks behind the bunker, wipes it, and then tells the ref, it's spray, come wipe me off, But unfortunately, he passed away just a few weeks ago. He was in a car accident. And so, losing two big names like that really did have a lot of impact on the sport in two different ways. Again, Tim was very big outside of the sport in terms of, pushing the industry forward with the marker technology. Working with Smart Parts initially, and then he moved on to work with Lux as well. And then, again, Markus being that superstar, that personality. And, everybody that's ever talked to him has always said off the field, he's actually one of their, genuinely down to earth guys, and really did, give his shirt off of his back to people at times. And Tim had a very similar personality. He was very soft spoken. A lot of people really liked him for the fact that, his heart was so big. So, it's unfortunate that we have to say goodbye to both of those gentlemen.
Yeah, and I was just reading up on some of Tim just to dig a little deeper about his whole career, and it's just, dude, Tim's career is crazy.
It was phenomenal.
It was.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
He started off playing on Tittman's team?
Yep, he started off at Tittman Attack, I believe is what it was called, Tittman Attack.
Tittman Effect.
Tittman Effect.
Yeah,
yes.
It was Tittman Effect.
Thank you.
And and then going on from there, and then like you said, it was the All-Americans. He played for Philly and stuff, and then just the list and stuff that he did was just amazing. And that was one thing, like you said, it was brought up when I was speaking to B, that she has a picture of Tim, and he's going to be on all their jerseys from here on out. All
of their jerseys.
Yeah. And it looks really good when I actually saw a picture of it. So
tip of the hat to B and Mike that's talk about a super classy move.
Yeah,
that really shows a lot for, for the heart of the people who are part of this sport. We might talk a lot of trash to each other on the field, and there is animosity between teams and things like that. But once we're off the field, we're more than happy to get together, buy drinks for each other and sit down and reminisce and laugh. And like I said, just super classy move.
Yeah. And, it just seems like back in the day, at least for us, it was like that. I don't know about how it is now. It just seems like some people are out there just for the me, just like a lot of things are going on. And I've said this in, I think it was like 2 podcasts before. It's like, for us, it was like a family. We're this little subculture, and we're just trying to have fun, play the sport that most people are like, that's not a sport. You're just running around in the woods shooting each other. It's like, no,
it's war games.
It's war games. And that's actually what it used to be called when my dad was playing it back in the day, back in the 80s. He would go off to go play war games. Now we're just all like, dude, I'm going to go to the paintball field and, play some paintball.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as a buddy of mine will say, do you want to go paintball shooting? It's like, what? And I always correct him, well, dude, it's just paintball. He's like, yeah, paintball shooting. No, dude, it's paintball. No. We're going to go paintballing. But definitely, it's a huge, huge loss with both of them. Both within the same year. And man, I mean, you're right. With Markus, it was like, holy crap, that dude is on the field was insane.
Yeah.
He played hard, and it was always fun to watch him. And then off the field, I met him once at, I forgot what event, but yeah, super nice guy. Was able to talk to him. We wanted to get an interview with him, but didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
Things, but it was cool.
Yeah.
To meet him at least. But yeah.
I actually had a chance to talk with him, and this was, this predated Sunday Clothing by, a few months, but I had a chance to talk to him off the field at the last Huntington Beach we played. Arsenal was, like I say, at that point, they had become one of the kind of the powerhouse teams, and they were always exciting, and he was a big reason why they were very electric. But like you said, I mean, just super nice guy, really kind of down to earth. Had a little bit of that, bad, like I say, that bad boy swagger to him, and that's part of what made him so attractive to people in terms of watching the sport, because you kind of want to root for the anti-hero. You kind of deep down, you're kind of like, yeah, that guy's kind of a badass, but as you said, really, really nice guy, and was very giving of the industry. He did a lot to try and promote the sport as much as he could. And I think that was part of the reason why he was so well loved.
And I think that's kind of what this industry needs again is, more.
Oh, I agree.
More like that. Same. I mean, B and Mike are definitely doing that. You still have a lot of the old crew that's still out there that wants to push to do more things and do good things for the sport, because back in the day for us, the sport was about the player, not about the almighty dollar.
Yep.
And I've always, in a couple episodes now, I've said that Behind the Mask, and back when we had it, which was Sunday Clothing, was all about the player. Didn't care if you were big or small. We wanted to talk to you and give you a platform to be able to just shine and feel like a rock star, because we did talk to the other bad boy of paintball, which was Chris Lasoya.
Yep. I was just going to say.
He was, dude, on the field, he was a beast. You did not want to piss him off. You were like, If you got shot, you get off the field, run.
Yeah.
He was exactly. I was watching Serial Killers, the very first one, and he had his own little segment, and you could see he was ultra aggressive on the field. But when you get off the field, the nicest dude that you could meet, and will talk to you. And he didn't care who you were, because I remember standing with him and we were talking. It was before an interview that we did with him, and some lady came up, and it was with her son, and the dude was a little bit slow, and you could tell he was all super stoked to meet Chris.
Excited to meet Chris.
And he was all like, "Oh, bro, give me a second." I was like, "Go for it." He turned around and took pictures and signed something. He was just totally cool with the kid. And then when they were done, got back to doing what he was doing. I was like, super cool dude. And that's what the funny thing is that a lot of the older crowd of paintballers were like that. They were all about giving back. Yeah,
they were. And it's like you say, on the field, him, Markus, to an extent, Thomas Taylor, Rich Telford was another one where they kind of had a little bit of an attitude, and you didn't want to piss them off, depending on who you supported, because, at that time, when you had the real confirmed fandoms for each team. Dynasty had their fan base and Excessive had their fan base and so on. You would say you hated these guys. And I mean, in terms of, in talking to a player who was a fan of a particular team, it rivaled that of other professional sports. You talk to other baseball fans. Oh, screw the Dodgers. You guys are terrible. Padres all the way, that type of thing, and they would pick out specific players. But then when you really got to talking to them, it's like, yeah, you know what? I hate that guy because he's not on my team. So they were, you hate him. But as soon as they're wearing your jersey, yeah, you love them. You love them.
Well, I mean, I'll admit I was not a fan of Dynasty back in the day. I was Iron Man and Excessive.
Yeah, same. And it had nothing to do with other than just, not wanting to go with the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing how Dynasty is this big thing, they bring out that dragon running around.
Yeah,
I don't want to be one of those tools.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the underdog. And I was like, that's where when Excessive came out, I was like, I'm all about Excessive.
All about Excessive. Yeah.
But I was still a big fan of Iron Man. And a big part of that was, Mike Pax. Pax was a solid freaking back player, an underrated. And I think B even said that in the last podcast, and I keep talking about it, but he was one of the underrated back players of the time and still, and love the guy. And huge, big dude.
Yeah, Mike is not easily lost in a crowd.
Yeah, he is a big dude, but he would dive into those snakes like he was, 5'2", and nobody would hit him. It's like, what the heck? How do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
But he was a really good back player. But I miss. We always say this, but we just miss the old days. I think
more nostalgia for you listeners,
Yeah, and drifting off into my little la la land and seeing how I miss those days. But hey, you know what? Let's see what the future holds. Right now it's NXL. Who knows what can happen down the line. We're starting to see a lot more tournaments starting to pop up again. And something that you brought up earlier was college.
Yes. So, collegiate paintball.
Who out there would love to get a scholarship to play paintball at a big college? I mean, well, if I was younger, I'd be all over that. I'd be looking.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
I'd be stupid if I was all like, whatever. No.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty legit for people listening who, may not have even heard of colleges being actively, fielding teams for tournaments or anything like that. The NCPA, the National Collegiate Paintball Association, has actually been around for quite some time. They were fielding teams in the regular brackets for tournaments with the NPPL, and then from there they slowly started organizing their own brackets. So it was schools playing other schools, but even then it was purely player driven. The players had to come up with their own money for for their gear. They did have some sponsorship, paint sponsors and gear and stuff like that, but they still had to try and field the teams themselves, and they didn't really have the backing of the school. But this has all changed now. Now the NCPA actually organizes their own tournaments, and it's a little difficult to find the information, so it may not be available anymore. I was doing the best I could to try and look it up, but at one point you actually could earn scholarships to play paintball. So like you said, it's like, who would pass on the opportunity to do something like that?
Crazy.
There's so many people, not only here in North America, but I would imagine the world over, kind of harbor secret dreams of being a student athlete, being able to have their college education paid for and play a sport that they absolutely love.
Yeah. And
so, it's more of a reality now than it ever was.
Well, and especially with this sport, who, like I said, most people don't recognize it as a sport. It's just something that you're going to go out into the woods and just run around and shoot each other. It's like, no, it's a little bit more than that. I actually paid for Go Sports. I'm actually now a subscriber.
Oh, very nice.
And I started watching some of their stuff. And in the show, The Rundown, they actually showed, it was a video on the Baltimore Revo that they went to the Under Armour facility to train. And it was a whole video on how they were training. And so it was really cool to watch, and seeing how Under Armour, which I don't know how much of a sponsor or how, because I've never seen them anywhere else sponsoring anybody else that I know of, but they brought these guys in to show like a whole training session with them. And it was pretty intense. And
interesting.
To see that it's no longer just a bunch of fat dudes going out into the woods shooting each other, and it's actually they're looking like athletes and working out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do this on the college level and you feel, you're made out to be an athlete, I mean, that would be awesome.
Oh, it's incredible.
And
incredible.
I was reading that this thing actually, they started as far back as 2004.
Yes. Yeah, it's not something that is new, but it's been very under the radar. And that's why some people, it kind of takes them by surprise that when you say that there is already an established, league for these college teams, there's already an established format. And as you said, they've got student athletes going out to the Under Armour facility. They've got training programs. They've got, dietary programs and stuff like that are in place to help these guys, to be the best paintball players that they can be. So it's really, really very promising. Again, growth of the sport is always going to be the big thing, but it's very promising to see the opportunities for people who, this is what they love and this is what they do. And then they can, actually get an education while continuing to play the sport and not have to sacrifice, one for the other.
Well, like Dennis said, if you guys want to look this up, it is NCPA paintball.com. And just like all other paintball websites, you get to
full of dead links.
You get to a great homepage and it goes dead after that. But they do have an event coming up, which is, said it was next weekend.
It's 5 days from now. There's actually a countdown timer on the landing page for NCPA. Actually,
we should say what the date is because we can't.
That's a good point.
So it was, now I got to go back to that. I don't want to lose this page. 5 days. So we're talking, next week. Yeah. Next week.
It would be next week.
That would be the 15th. Let me double check on this. So we're looking at the weekend of the 17th and 18th. That's when they're going to have their event. And where is it at? Did you see that? Oh, you said
I did. It is going to be at Tiki Paintball in let me get the address here.
Well, he's getting that. Let me give you guys a little bit of a list of some of the teams, or at least some of the schools that actually are fielding teams. This list was back in 2019, so I couldn't find the 2021, which they may have not been fielding anything because since everybody was doing online schooling. But it sounds like they're getting back to it here in 2021. And we have like University of Maryland, the Terrapins. They've got a team. Texas A&M, the Aggies, they have a team. West Point has the Black Knights.
Yep.
And I don't know is it the same Black Knights as in, Independence Day? I'm just. Will Smith was part of the team.
Not to stop your steamroll there, Eugene. So the event is going to take place April 17th through the 18th at Tiki Paintball Park in Tampa, Florida. Looks like it's going to be a 2-day event, Class A and AA prelims on Saturday and then playoffs on Sunday. So it's a very typical format to most tournaments, save that they're doing it in 2 days instead of a 3-day event. But the way they have it, because this is Class A and AA, so essentially, Class A would be your more novice divisions, and then AA would be your amateur division. There are no pro players allowed in this. Obviously, you have to be a full-time student at that same college or university. But they do have a caveat saying any player who would have been eligible for 2020 would be eligible for this year. So as you said, they didn't have any events for 2020. So they kind of went 2019, 2021. In terms of teams, I actually do have a list of all of the schools that have clubs right now. So I could tell you, just running down there's 271 clubs, total of 44 states with a collegiate paintball club. So as I said, this is something that is very established, and it's giving these guys a really, really good opportunity to get out there and to play and represent their school. There's us being based in California, Southern California, we've got 14 schools that all have teams representing in the NCPA right now.
I know.
So it's very exciting.
One was Long Beach.
Long Beach has a team. Cal State Fullerton has a team. Ooh. Cal State Northridge has a team. Fresno State, Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, UC Irvine, UC San Diego, UC Davis. Yeah, there's quite a few.
It's almost, it's almost like we should try to get in contact with these schools.
I was way ahead of you. I already had that banked in the back of my mind.
Oh, well, in that case, if you are from Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton, is it Cal State Santa Barbara?
Santa Barbara, Northridge, Fresno State, UC Irvine, UC San Diego, UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara. So please,
if any of you guys
reach out to us. We are definitely going to
try to reach out to you guys, but we would love to talk to you guys about being a college paintball player.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would almost say that's almost an oxymoron, because if I was in college, I would not have enough money to play paintball. I remember when I was that age, I wasn't even in college, and I was still struggling to play paintball because mom didn't want to give me the money. I had to pay for my own everything.
Exactly.
So, but that's cool. That is actually seriously cool. Which there was another thing that was on there that I saw, and we scrolled past it, but it was the high school.
Yes, there is also a high school division for the NCPA. I can actually jump back a little bit here, and I can bring up that list and give you an idea of how many teams are being represented there. There we go. There's my high school club list. Apologize for the listeners. We have multiple windows open, and trying to jump back and forth can be difficult at times. So I'm showing there's going to be a total number of 28 clubs represented, 16 states, each with a club. California alone has 5. We've got teams coming out of Davis, which is Northern California, Fontana, Fullerton, Grossmont High. So it's pretty nice. Obviously, it's going to be a much smaller pool than the collegiate, because high school sports are usually intramural. They don't usually go out of state or anything like that. So this is I would imagine this is probably still a relatively new format. But yeah, they are represented as well. It looks like Texas is giving us a run for the number of teams they're putting out as well. They've got 5.
Well, I mean, Texas is huge, and they've got everybody that loves guns there. So, why not?
Yeah, it's a good mix. It's a good mix.
I would actually like to get a hold of a high school team too, if not all of them. I mean, there's only 5. I think it would be really cool to get them on this thing too and talk to them, because
it would,
get them out there and see if we can help them out by getting some more sponsors. Because I don't know how many of these teams have sponsors, but that would be a really cool thing to get a hold of.
It would. Unfortunately, on both for the collegiate list as well as the high school, it's like you say, typical of most paintball websites. All of these schools are clickable links that go nowhere.
Well, I guess we're going to have to go to the almighty Google and check the interwebs and see if we could navigate our way to finding them. Because I'm sure these guys have got to have like an Instagram. I mean,
they must.
Got an Instagram. I mean, shoot. there's people that have their dogs that have Instagrams.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sure these guys have an Instagram somewhere. So we'll
and the Fullerton schools being adjacent to where I am, I'm currently coming out of Orange County right now. So Fullerton is literally in my backyard, and then, that'd be easy enough to find out. So
and Fontana's in mine. So I mean, shoot,
that's true.
The only ones are like the northern, like Davis. I'd be like, I don't know. We'll get a interview on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, this is what I'd like. I want to get a hold of these guys because it's like I want to see them grow. I want to.
Yeah.
They're part of this sport. Let's get them whatever we can. And if there's anybody out there that's part of, any of the big names, any of the big paintball manufacturer names out there, if you guys even hear this, you should just try to get a hold of these guys and try to help them out too. Cause I mean, it's part of the sport. You help them out, they're going to remember you. Other people are going to see it and they're going to be like, holy crap, we want to either want to play for the team or they're going to want to start their own team and they're going to want to buy your product. Yeah,
exactly. It's brand recognition, there's that old adage of even bad press is still press. And now, I wouldn't necessarily say it applies in this case, but
you can't go wrong.
If you got people talking about you, you're doing something right.
Yeah. And I know that it's not about the almighty dollar, at least not for us. For us, I want to see it grow again. Yeah. I want to see it get to that point where we had it back in the early 2000s where it was fun to go to these tournaments and we felt like rock stars when we went to these tournaments because we went to those pits and we had to tell people, hey, you can't come in here. I got to go to my pit area with my team.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Walk down, you're all thinking you're cool. You see your sign and it's like, yeah, we're in the pits. It was exciting. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Walking past that little sign that said that, players only, that type of thing. Yeah. It did. It had a little bit of it went to your head a little somewhat and kind of made you feel good.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you walked around these tournaments and you're in your full gear, you feel like you're somebody special when you're really not. But it was fun. It was great. I loved doing it. God, I miss it. Soon. I don't know how soon. I can't, not real soon, but soon I might get out there and who knows, we can see if we can find somebody that'll take two old guys to jump on their teams. We may not be the fastest, but we can bring experience and skill.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh man. So yeah, that's cool. That's really exciting. And so what else we got? I think gosh, how long has it been? It hasn't even been that long.
It hasn't even been that long. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a dry. It's been a little bit of a dry spell in terms of news because we just had that big event in Florida for the NXL.
Did we already? No, we haven't.
We haven't covered the results of that yet. No.
That happened this week. I thought it was next weekend or the end of the month. It's May.
No. Yeah, end of April through the beginning of It's
Hold on.
Oh, shoot.
We haven't missed anything. God, don't get me
We
off.
haven't missed anything.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to watch it.
No, I was mistaking that for the collegiate event that's coming up for one, but then backtracking a little bit to the last episode, B and Mike actually have an event coming up. I thought it was either this past weekend or this coming weekend up in Northern California.
Oh yeah, it was on Saturday, because I can't say today, because I don't want to throw people off, but it was actually, the event is the 10th and the 11th, and it was up in NorCal at Capitol Edge paintball field, and it was a paintball school. It was a clinic that Mike and
Shane Pastana.
Yeah. And Mike Paxton, they were putting on the paintball school, which was at Capitol Edge, and they had a pretty good turnout. I actually saw a live stream that B did, and they were actually doing it on Facebook. So if you guys want to see that, you can go on to the B has a link on her page on Instagram, and now I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh, I'm like all over the place.
Well, we reposted it to our Instagram as well.
I reposted the page showing them what was going on, but there's an actual link on hers. But it was on Destiny Paintball Facebook, they went live, and it was showing some of what was going on at the paintball school, and it was really cool to watch. I actually woke up in time to be able to catch some of it live, and then I watched the rest of it later on. How cool is it to be taught by two of some of the biggest names out there in paintball that have taught just tons of players, pro players to this day? You know, they've taught them and coached them. And, you know, if you guys, again, follow Destiny and follow B, you'll hear about more of these paintball schools that are going to be going on that they put on. I forgot the list of, they've had quite a few. Rocky
Cagnoni, Rocky Knuth. I think both of them have done
one of the
guest spots. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they've had quite a few names out there also running these things, and it's a really cool experience if you guys get a chance to do it. I wish I could have gone out there, but on top of Capital Edge and what was going on up there, as far as the paintball school, but it was also what do you call it? It was a recruiting for one of their Destiny teams. That's what was also going on.
So see, there was a little bit of an ulterior motive to them having players come out.
Hey, I don't blame them. I'd do the same thing. I mean, shoot,
no, neither would I.
If you can find some raw talent,
pick your exactly. Handpick your raw talent. Why not?
Yep. So that's what they did. The first day was more of the paintball day, paintball school, and Mike was going to be there. Sorry. And then the second day was going to be more of a practice with the teams from up there. And if some of the players wanted to, they still could have stuck around and just practice with them. They were going to have two coaches there. And I wish I could remember the names of the coaches now, and I feel bad that I can't. But they were going to be out there coaching teams and coaching the new players that were going on. Yeah. So it was a pretty cool event. Like I said, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open for the next one that they have. I'm sure I'll be in contact with B to find out more about other ones that they'll be put on. And so you can also look for it on our Instagram, and I'll post it up because I definitely want to help them out with that, because the paintball school is a really cool thing. I mean,
absolutely.
I wish I could.
Absolutely.
But it is what it is. I'll try to catch one sooner or later. So that was this weekend. Yeah, you got me scared a little bit on that the NXL. I thought the NXL had already. I just missed it. I was like, oh my god! I was just saying on two podcasts ago that I wanted to watch it, and I was like, I think I was going to be in Vegas and I would miss it, but nope, didn't miss it. It's still coming up, and they are going to be hosting. I think they're going to be fielding a team out there too. So I know we're giving.
That's exciting.
I know we're giving a lot of love to Destiny just because we just talked to B, but like I said, she's got 19. Yeah,
19 teams.
19 teams. Yeah, I did say it. And one of their teams will be out there. So it's a really exciting time for them.
It is. It's super exciting. And again, as you said, I know it seems like we're kind of, on the bandwagon for Destiny right now. But the other thing that I do want to mention, and obviously, I think it merits at least bringing it up, is that the roots of Destiny are kind of significant as well, because they were one of the first all-female teams. B came from, she initially played for a team called the Femme Fatales. Yeah. But as much as I hate to say it, because B is an extremely good paintball player, so were a lot of the other ladies that played, they weren't taken seriously. They really weren't. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the ladies who played on Femme Fatales, and there were a few others that were out there, they kind of banded together. And then that's when, Destiny came on the scene, and they came out the gates like really hard. They were competitive. They made people sit up and take notice of the fact that there are women playing the sport who can hang with the boys. They are just as good, if not better, in many aspects. And it was a very kind of a revolutionary moment. So I kind of felt like that does need to be referenced. And now, most of the Destiny teams are the co-ed. So, it's a mix, men and women. But again, it brought legitimacy to women playing paintball. And so, I kind of felt like people who maybe are not as familiar with Destiny, familiar with B, they should kind of keep that in the back of their mind that, this is not, a up and coming team that is just taking advantage of having a big name behind it. This is something that they have worked very hard to get to where they are right now. Yeah. And so it's very exciting to see them, to see a lot of their hard work come to fruition. Yeah. So again, a lot of credit goes to them for the time and effort that they put into it.
Yeah. And my history with Destiny was, we saw that it was an all-female team, and we wanted to not just put our name to it, but wanted to get them out there also, because it was a really cool thing to see an all-female team. And that was one thing that I had told B, is that when it comes to this sport in particular, the playing field is leveled.
It's very level.
There is no gender in this sport, because if you can shoot and you can move, you can play. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I would say that's more true in this sport than it is any other sport out there. Especially a professional level.
Yeah.
It's that cannot be more true.
Yeah, and absolutely. It's funny that she was like, "Didn't we do a ad with you guys for? I think it was paintball to extreme. We had an ad.
Paintball 2X. I think it was Paintball 2 Extreme.
Yeah, it was that magazine, and I was like, "Yeah, you guys did." And she went through her phone as we're talking and found it and sent me it, because I didn't have a copy of it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" There it is. They're wearing Sunday clothing T-shirts in this really cool ad, and it was in the magazine, and it was really cool. And then I dug up an old video that I did with them, and I followed them around, and it was a good video that we did, and it was a really cool interview. But you're right. I mean, for her, she was saying that, like the first Destiny teams, you look at them and it's made up of all these females, and they were all pretty, but that wasn't what their goal was. Their goal was to play and just win. And now she's got it to where she really wanted it, which was a co-ed thing, to show that the boys can play with the girls. And, you've even got those girls that are even better than the boys. I mean, that's how it is. So it was really cool. But that's why, yes, I'm gushing a little bit over that, because it was really something that I worked on and worked with. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
It was. It really was.
Good old days.
Somehow it keeps doubling back to the nostalgia.
Because you know what? That's all we got. That's
true. That's true. And
right
and we never. Well, and we've never shied away from the fact that, that's part of our, I guess you could say, our shtick, is that, we can always delve back into the memories and talk about the things that happened to us in the past and compare it to what we're seeing today.
Yeah, we're those two old guys sitting on those chairs on the porch, and then we just drift. We'll be talking about something and drift off, and I remember. Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. But we always come back to point. So
yeah. So, but you know what? I mean, I'm constantly looking for new stuff online just to see anything new that might pop up, especially like on YouTube and any videos. I even go back and I dig up some of the old stuff, like Sunday Driver, which had that epic speech by Matty Marshall at the very beginning, talking about why we do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I did it.
Yep.
I never ran through an airport or slept in one, but that's why I do it. I was a paintballer.
Yep.
But I did come across this one video, which I don't know how I could share it, but it was a really cool. It's like a teaser video, and I wish we were on live or doing a live stream of this. I would put it up there, which we are thinking about doing that. We are coming together, and you'll be able to see these ugly mugs, and you're going to love it no matter what. And we're going to try to put together a live thing where we're actually talking, not live, but at least a YouTube video. And we're going to try to do this at least maybe once a month. unless we get like sponsors out. If there's anybody out there that wants to sponsor us and drop gear, we'll show it off. We'll wear it.
We'll be happy to do it. To do it.
Yeah, we're not asking for free gear. We're asking to show off your gear because there's not enough places right now that are showing it off. There's a couple stores that I've seen on that show off like some of the new markers, ANS, which there's my love for the ANS gear.
I want to talk about one of their new videos in a moment here.
Okay, well, so I found this video. It's on YouTube. Let me see if I can bring it up. And it's really short. And I was like, what is this? And I don't know what it is.
Not the hassle.
Not this
free one-day shipping, 24/7 customer care.
24 hours.
Guarantee.
Oh.
We need rock-solid financials.
That's not it. I don't know. But
change is inevitable. National level events at a grassroots level.
I got to send you this video.
Brought to you by seasoned players with the player in mind. We have heard the outcry. Something new is coming. Are you ready?
So it's a really short video. It says it's coming in 2022, and it's just labeled the circuit. And it's like, okay, what's this? It's piqued my interest. I was like, what is it? What is this? The circuit? You know, the last time I saw, the circuit. The last time I saw a video like this, it was for Sunday Clothing. Like we did a teaser like this, and it was like, you know, kind of letting people know that we're on our way. We're coming. We're going to.
Right.
And so I saw this and I was all like, huh. But it was really cool. It's really cool. It's something, who knows? Definitely, if you guys get a chance, look it up. It's the circuit.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that. I'm as I said, I've got a number of windows open, and I'm worried about it possibly bogging down my connection and sounding like I'm talking to you from the bottom of a trash can. So.
No, you sound actually pretty good. There's no delay this time around.
Oh, good. Yeah, for those of you who listened to the last episode that Eugene and I did together, we were experiencing some.
That's all you got to know.
Yeah, that's all I got to know. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, and it was strange because I could hear Eugene in real time, but for some reason, my responses to him were coming in 2-3 seconds late. And so it caused some weird issues when it came time to edit down. So, and unfortunately, I'm talking to you guys via a headset running through a phone where Eugene has a nice professional podcast setup. He's got his nice mic and he's got the cans and everything like that. So,
it's not even a professional mic. I think I paid like $20. That's all it was.
Okay. Well, make me feel like a jerk then.
Well, I mean, for my other podcast that I was doing, I haven't done it in a little while. I got to hit up my buddy about that one. But
yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I can actually sit in, I could be a third person on that one.
That would be pretty awesome to have a third person talking. But I would, because I travel so much.
Yeah, that's true.
There was times where I was driving up to work and I would run off my phone, and I was having a hard time trying to just get my phone to run through headphones, and it would end up in the Bluetooth in my car. And if you guys listen to it, it's the Geek Saga, and it sounds like I am literally in a trash can at times. And then we would lose reception. It was all a mess. So it's kind of nice to be able to have, like right now, I'm all by myself, and I was able to set up my computer, set up my microphone, and to be able to do this. So
yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I love comic books. I love everything about comic books and movies and all that other stuff. When it came to Geek Saga, I loved sitting down talking about it. But when we would talk about it, all the stuff that was going on with the comic book industry right now is just so politically driven and just it's just garbage. It's just so much garbage that's being thrown out there. And look, if you're one of those people that need a hug and a fluffy bunny and a coloring book, and get triggered by, some extreme guy like me just farting in the wrong direction, or saying something that just isn't right. I mean, I guess those comic books are for you, but all that woke stuff just isn't for me. And if you don't like me now because of that and don't want to listen to this podcast, then well, that's what it is. But I was just getting tired of hearing all that when it came to all the paint or the comic book stuff, because I love comic books. I absolutely do. But when you've got Raven's daughter popping out and she's looking like this hobbit, or not Raven, but Firestar. And if you know who Firestar is in the comic book, she's like this hot looking hero. And she's got this little dwarf of a daughter, and that's because they're going for this whole woke thing. It's like, nah, I don't want to. So I took a little break from that podcast, because it's just like, it's a downer every time we were talking. It was just like garbage on top of garbage. And yeah. So
that's on hiatus. Yeah,
it's on hiatus, but we might be bringing it back. I just got to get a hold of my buddy Jose, and we'll definitely probably kick it off again. Because I was just in a comic book store out in Vegas, and it was like I dug through some of the comics, and their selection at that store sucked. I was not too happy, and plus seeing the prices that they wanted for some of the back issues, I was like, dude, no way.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to get back into finding the old stuff, the stuff that was printed on the old freaking newspaper, not on this glossy stuff that's like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, the old stuff that we used to pay like $1.25 for. That's what I'm looking for. Is all.
Oh, if that.
Dude, 75 cents, $1.25. And then when I saw them jump up to like $3, I was like, what am I paying for? It's the same number of pages in the dumb stupid comic book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what.
But that's a whole nother Oprah. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't trigger me. All right. Now I need.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
But
I think, what time is it? I don't even remember.
We're coming up on 9:45, so we're almost at the hour mark. But before we wrap things up, we were talking a little bit about some of the videos of different equipment that's coming on the market and things like that. We brought up A&S. They're very prolific with their videos. They're constantly showcasing new markers that are coming out, new masks, new harness setups and things like that. And they just dropped a unboxing video of Planet Eclipse's new Ego LV 1.6. I'm going to butcher the name, so I apologize to any of my Pacific Islander listeners out there. I believe it's called the Teopo, which means skull breaker. This gun is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
If you could imagine a perfectly formed wave, cresting over, making that nice tube that every surfer would just die to ride.
Mm-hmm.
Take that wave and make it into an LV 1.6 marker. They are unbelievably beautiful. I mean, the milling on this gun is amazing. Please, by all means, do yourself a favor. Google pictures of this gun. Again, I probably butchered the pronunciation of it, but it wouldn't take much searching to find. A&S has it for sale on their website right now. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Just flowing lines. I mean, the LV 1.6 is a beautiful marker to begin with. The Eagle platform is, ever since it was released in 2004, has always been a very very popular marker. They've always done a lot with the milling styles and things like that, not only to try and shave off as much of the metal to make it a nice lightweight setup, but to make it look nice as well. And they completely outdid themselves on this. It is something to see. Kind of reminiscent of the old Ripper Timmy milling with that nice flowing waves and things, but oh man, I saw some of the colorways that they're releasing with this gun, and it is a very limited release. Excuse me. But they had it's like a royal blue and black colorway. They've got a silver and black. They've got solid blue, solid red. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So like I say, I mean, take a look at it. And obviously the gun probably shoots much like an Eagle LV 1.6. So you're probably not going to get higher performance or anything like that. But if I see one of these guns walking around in the field, I am definitely going out of my way to go talk to the owner and say, man, can I please touch that?
Well, you got to be more specific when you say, can I please touch that?
Yeah. Fair enough.
But the Planet Eclipse was teasing to this thing, and it was an ad. It was a really cool ad the way they were doing it, which
it was a very cool ad. And a lot of people thought it might have been a April Fool's joke because they released it on April 1st.
Yeah, and it looked like a full-on wave. It just showed the back end, and then it curved into the wave, and you see a surfer, and they're just like, "Whoa, what's this? What's coming?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then A&S said, "We finally got them." I got to watch Rory unbox them, and I like a lot of their videos that they put up, and they actually have a video on YouTube about the unboxing of this, like Dennis said. So it was really cool to see that. And dude, those things are sick looking.
Yeah, it's just unbelievably amazing. I cannot get enough of it. I look at the marker and it just makes me, it almost makes me cry that I can't, that I can't afford it.
Well, then let's put it this way. Let's tell Planet Eclipse, if you're listening to us, which you're probably not, but if you are,
yeah, please let us at least
like to just see
test fire.
Yes,
I would love to test fire the Teopo.
I'll even when we're done with it, we will not keep it. We will give it away. We'll do a giveaway.
Oh, that would be a wonderful idea, actually.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea. Like any sponsor, if you guys want to throw some stuff at us, we're not going to keep it unless you tell us, hey, this is yours. But we would give it away. We would definitely do raffles or giveaways. That would be cool if we can do that.
I think that would be amazing. Yeah, do a giveaway for our listeners. That would be something I would fully be on board for. Absolutely.
But alas, we are not that popular yet.
Not yet. We'll get there.
We will someday. But I think with that, we'll be wrapping this up as we touched on quite a few things in this actual we did. I'm all inside now. But for those of you, again, listening, remember Tim and Markus, two amazing paintballers. Look them up when you guys get a chance. Look at their career and just see how great they were. And shoot, man, what they did for us, for all of us in the paintball. For
all of us, absolutely.
And then, of course, again, check out B Youngs Paxson and all her Instagrams and Destiny Paintball on Instagram. And but definitely keep an eye out for them. When you see them, tell them what's up, and we'll definitely watch their games.
Absolutely. And keep an eye out on our. We're now present on Instagram. We've got a Facebook, so we're getting our name out there. So keep an eye out for posts from us. We've got some really exciting things that we want to try and bring to you guys. And, I'm really looking forward to, the future of not only this podcast, but where the sport's going. So
definitely. And let me tell you guys a few places that you can find us, because we're not just on YouTube where you can listen to us, but we are also on several different podcast platforms, and I'm going to bring them up right now. Let's go. We are on 6, not 1, not 2, but 6 podcast platforms. We are on Anchor. We are on Breaker. We're on Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and on Spotify. Spotify is the biggest one that we're on.
Spotify, yep.
I'm going to be working on getting us onto Apple Podcasts. So soon we'll be coming to that. But you could also catch us, of course, on YouTube. It's just audio for now. And like I said, we're going to be working on getting an actual live thing going fairly soon. And yeah, those are all the spots. Again, catch us on our Instagram. Instagram is at Behind the Mask Media. That is us, because we couldn't just take Behind the Mask. Somebody actually has it. I don't know what
somebody actually has that. Yeah.
But we are Behind the Mask Media because that's what we are, is we are media. And if you are a small team, if you are amateur, rookie, pro, whatever, and you want to, get yourselves out there, definitely hit us up. You can DM us on Behind the Mask Media and, drop us some information about you, and we'll try to get a hold of you and try to get you guys on the show and talk to you guys about your team, promote you guys a little bit. And anybody else that wants to promote an event, if you're a paintball field that has an event or an event coordinator for tournaments, again, you can catch us on DMs on Behind the Mask Media, and we will promote you guys. If you want to drop
Absolutely.
A website page or something that we could post up, we will post it up on our Instagram and mention you guys on the show. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, get out there, go to your local fields, go to your local stores, support those guys. Let's get them back out of the red because of 2020, the stupidity of 2020. But let's get back out there. Let's get back playing. That's pretty much all we've got. This is me and Dennis from Behind the Mask, and we are out of here.